Hi everyone, Ravi this side. Welcome to EnggAdda. Today in this video, we are going to see how we can implement Apache Pulsar in our Spring Boot application. So what we are going to do is, we are going to create a Spring Boot application. There we'll try to create producer and consumer, and using the Apache Pulsar, we are going to send the message between producer and consumer. Like the producer is going to send the message and the consumer is going to consume the same message which is sent by the producer. So this is what we are going to develop here. In the previous two videos, we already have discussed what is Apache Pulsar, its features, its architecture, and its use cases. And then we also see how we can install the Apache Pulsar on our Windows machine using Docker desktop. So everything we discussed. Now in this video, we are directly going to create a Spring Boot application and then start implementing the Apache Pulsar in it. So let's get started for that, and let me try to come out of it and go to IntelliJ. So here I'm using IntelliJ Ultimate version. So what I can do is that directly I can create this Spring Boot application here itself. So go to the file, new project, and then just give your project name. So let's say it is Apache Pulsar Spring Boot. Okay. Now just select Maven here, go next, and you have to include couple of starter dependencies like Lombok and web. And then for Apache Pulsar, just search for the Apache Pulsar, and here you can see there's a two variant of Apache Pulsar, which is Spring for Apache Pulsar and is Spring for Apache Pulsar Reactive. So we have to select this first one and then create your application. Open it in a new tab and just wait for a few seconds. So once it is done, what we can do is we can start doing our development here. So just wait for a few seconds. It will try to download the dependency that you added and resolve it out. It will also try to fix your indexes, and everything will run. Then we can start doing the development here. I think it is good. Now go to the source, main, and Java, and here you can see your application is there. Now let me try to do one thing. First of all, let me try to change the port number of this application. Let me change it to the server.port. I'm just going to point it to the 8085, and why I'm doing so, I will let you know. So just run this application and then try to see if it is up and running or not. If it is working properly, then we can start doing the development here. So you can see our application is up on the port number 8085 locally. So it is good. Now what we have to do is we have to create the producer, we have to create the consumer, and the producer is going to send some message and the consumer is going to consume that message. But how is it possible? So there comes the picture of Apache Pulsar. So we have to create, we have to use Apache Pulsar to send the message between producer and consumer, and for that we have to do some necessary configuration related to the Apache Pulsar. So for that I'm going to create application.yml file first. So just create this file application.yml, and here we have to do the necessary configuration related to the Apache Pulsar. So for that what I'm going to do is I have to define the service URL of Apache Pulsar, producer, topic, and consumer topic, and the subscription name. Everything we have to define here. So before going to do the configuration for the Apache Pulsar here in application.yml file, let me try to make our Apache Pulsar up and running. Okay. So how we can make our Apache Pulsar up and running? In the previous video, I already have discussed how you can install the Apache Pulsar on your Docker machine, right? So the same way we have to if you want to make it up and running, what you have to do is you have to go to this folder where you keep your Docker Compose file related to the Apache Pulsar, and then just simply do a Docker Compose up. So just let me try to do. Okay, so before going to run this, let me try to start my Docker desktop. So just search for the Docker desktop, and it will start in few seconds. So first of all, the Docker desktop should be started, and then you have to run this Docker Compose file command. Okay, so the Docker desktop is starting for us, and now we have to run this docker compose up command, where you have the docker compose file for Apache Pulsar. Okay, so just open the command from there and then run this command docker compose up. It will take few seconds of your time, and it will start creating the container for your zookeeper, Pulsar init, and other things that is required, like bookie and broker. Everything is going to be created in a container and start running once you will run this command. Okay, so I think it is working fine. Now let me try to minimize it out and go to this Docker desktop, and here you can see one container is created with the name Pulsar, and as of now the 2 instance is running. Let me try to go to this Pulsar, and here you can see the zookeeper is running, Apache init is not running, bookie is running, and broker is running. And if you'll go to this broker, you will find that this is the URL where Apache Pulsar broker is running, which is locally it is running on the port number 6650. And if you'll go down, you'll find that there is another port which is occupied by this broker, which is 8080, and that is why I changed my port number of our application to 8085, so that it won't conflict there. Okay, so we are good. Our Apache Pulsar is up and running on Docker machine, and now we can start doing our development. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to do the necessary configuration related to the Apache Pulsar. So that is why we created this application.yml file. Here what we have to do is we have to do the configuration for service URL of Apache Pulsar, and then we have to also point out the topics where the producer is going to produce the message, and the topic where the consumer is going to consume the message, and also subscription. So everything we have to configure here. Now let me start doing the necessary configuration here related to the Apache Pulsar. So what we have to do as a configuration here is we have to provide the service URL, we have to provide the topic of the producer and the topic of consumer and the subscription name as well. So those configuration we have to do here. Let me start doing those configuration here. So it is Pulsar, and then let's say, let me try to remove this. I'm doing my custom configuration here. So it is Pulsar, and then let's say service URL, and the service URL is something like it would be Pulsar, and then the place where your Pulsar is up and running locally. So if you'll go to this Docker desktop, you'll find that your broker is up and running on the port number 6650 locally. So that is what we have to provide here in the service URL. So it would be like Pulsar, and then / localhost 6650. Okay, and we are good. Now what we have to do is we have to create the topic under the producer. So we first of all we have to configure the producer here, and then we have to configure the topic for that, and the topic for this producer will be something like topic, and give the topic name. Let's say it is my topic. And after that what we have to do is we have to do the configuration for consumer. So let's say it is consumer, and then we also have to define the topic for consumer. So the same topic I'm going to keep here for the producer and consumer, because at this topic the producer is going to produce the message, and the same topic is being used by the consumer to consume the message. So we have to be consistent for the topic, at least for producer and consumer. Like the same topic is being utilized by the producer to send the message, and the consumer can only consume the messages from that particular topic where the producer has produced the messages. So the thing that you have to keep in mind. Now let me try to also configure the subscription name. So let's say it is subscription name, and let's say it is something like my subscription, and then we are good. Why we are getting this? Let me try to so let me slightly check this out why we are getting this error. So we are using this service URL, and then okay, we are good now, and we have the producer topic, consumer topic, and the subscription name. Everything look good now. So we did the necessary configuration. What we did here is we configured the service URL where our broker is locally up and running, which is the port number 6650, and we also configured our topic under the producer, and the same topic I am going to use for the consumer as well. And then we also define the subscription name for the consumer. Okay, so it would be not this, it would be subscription name. So we are good. Now what we are going to do is we are going to create the producer first and then consumer, and then we'll try to create a controller where we'll try to create one API that will use the producer method to produce the message, and then we'll see how the consumer is reacting to that produced message, if the consumer is able to consume it out or not. So for that, let me try to create let's say producer class. So it would be like producer service, and we are good. Now let me annotate this with @service annotation. And what else we have to do is we have to use couple of Pulsar related things to send the message over the topic that we created using the producer. Okay, so we are going to use this one thing which is producer template, and this producer template has the method called send, and we are going to use that to send the message over the topic that we created. So for that, let me try to first of all auto-var the producer template here. So let's say it is private producer template. Sorry, it would be Pulsar template, not producer template. Sorry. Yeah, it is Pulsar template. And we auto-wired it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a method called, let's say, public void send message. And here what we are going to do is we are going to send the message that we want to send over the topic. So we are good. Now what we have to do is we have to call the pulsar.send method, and inside that we have to send the message. Now if you'll go to this send method of the Pulsar, you will find different variant of it. So if you'll go down, you will find that this is the method that we need to use. We are going to use this send method, and here you can see it is asking for this two arguments. One is the topic and the second one is the message that you want to send over the topic. So here we are only sending this message directly, right? If you'll go to this service, we are only sending the message, but this is not the way. How the consumer will come to know that from which topic I have to consume the message. So we have to send our message on the particular topic. Okay, so for that, let me try to create a variable called, sorry, I do not need to auto-var. Let me try to create a variable called the string topic, and we have to get the topic from the application.yml file. So if you go there to the application.yml file, you will find that topic is under this pulsar.producer.topic. So that is what we have to get the value from. So use this @value notation and try to provide the path where your topic is under the producer. So it is pulsar.producer.topic. So it would automatically fetch the topic name from here, and the same topic we are going to use to send our message. So we have to pass this topic here as well, and we are good. So this is what we have to do. And now there is a way, like you can directly send this message in the form of a string, or what you can do is if you are going to send the message in the form of a string, here you have to go to this application.yml configuration, and you have to also configure the schema type. Okay, So you have to configure that schema type in if you want to send the message in the form of a string or the list, or let's say you want to send the message in the form of DTO. So you have to configure that thing here in the schema type, but we are not configuring it out. So in that case, what we have to do is we have to send this message in the form of byte array. So let me try to convert it to the byte array. So just use this method get byte, and we are good. So this is how we are going to send the message over a topic using Pulsar. Okay, now we are good. Now let me try to create the consumer here. So let's say it is Pulsar, consumer service. And annotate this with @service annotation. And then we are directly going to create a method that will try to consume the message produced on the topic by the producer. So for that, let me try to create one method called consume. So it is public void consume, and we have to pass the message here that producer has produced. So producer has produced the message in the form of byte array, right? So let me try to pass this message here as a argument of this method, and let me remove this, and we are going to consume this message. Okay, so we are doing nothing. We are simply trying to convert this byte array into the string, and then we'll simply try to print it out. So just create a string message equal to new string. Let's say it is MSG. So we converted our byte array message that we received from the producer over the topic that it has produced, and then we are converting into the string and then simply printing it out. So let's say received message is something like that. Okay, so we are good. Now how we are going to listen to the message, how we are going to consume the message which is produced by the producer over the topic. So in that case, we are going to use this annotation called Pulsar listener, and that annotation will help us in listening to the message that is being produced by the producer over a topic. So I'm just going to use this annotation called Pulsar listener, and here you have to provide the necessary things like the topic's name and the subscription name, so that Pulsar consumer is aware that this is the topic where the producer has produced the message. So it will go to that particular topic, it will listen to the message, and then it will try to print out that message here. So we have to provide this topic and the subscription name. So let me try to provide it out here. So let's say it is topic, and directly we can access it using this value annotation. So we are going to use that. So what you can do is you can directly pass the things here, like it would be dollar, and then here you have to pass the path of that topic. So it is something like Pulsar dot what it is. If you go to the application.yml file, you will find it out. So it is Pulsar dot consumer dot topic and then subscription name. So go to it, go to the consumer, Pulsar dot consumer dot topic, and this is our topic. And for the subscription name, what we have to do is we have to point out to this subscription name, and we are good. So what this method is doing, it is doing nothing. Using this Pulsar listener, it is listening to this topic and this subscription. Whichever message is produced on this topic, it is going to listen to that message and just print it out. That is what the listener is doing. That is what this consumer is doing. Now we have the producer, which is sending the message or which is producing the message over a particular topic, and from the same topic we are going to consume the message here using Pulsar listener. Now let me try to create one controller here. So let's say it is Pulsar controller, and annotate this with @REST controller, and then let me auto wire the producer service here. So just use auto wire private producer service. Producer service, and then what we are going to do is we are going to create a, let's say, get mapping, and it is something like we are going to send the message. So it is, let's say, send, and whatever message we are going to send it in the form of request parameter. So let's say public string send message, and we are going to use @request param. Let's say string message, and then what we are going to do is we are going to use this producer service and call this send method of the producer service, and in that we are going to simply pass the message that we want to send and then return it out. So if we'll go to this send message, let me go there. It is not there. What is the name? If we'll go to the producer service, we'll find this name is send message, not only send. So just call this method and we are good. If we'll go to this method again, you will find that it is not returning anything. So let me simply return something here, like message is being produced, message is being sent, or you can say produced, and then simply return it out. So let me try to brief you the whole flow. What is happening here is we created this API and we are sending the message as a request parameter to this API. We are calling the send message method of the producer service, and here we have the topic over which we are trying to send the message in the form of byte array. Now once the message is being sent over the topic, it is automatically going to the consumer service, and with the help of this @Pulsar listener, it is listening to that particular topic and it is getting the message which is produced by that producer over that particular topic, and then it is printing out that message. So that is what it is doing here, and this is the whole flow. Now let me try to run this application and try to hit the API that we developed. So if we'll go to the Pulsar controller and let it run, then we can start hitting out this API. So you can either use Postman to hit this API. I'm directly going to use this terminal provided by this IntelliJ. So with that, I'm going to hit this API. So you can see the things are loading here, and you can see our topic is there, our subscription is there, everything is looking good. You can go and just check out these logs. You will get the more understanding of the Pulsar, how it is interacted with the Spring Boot and how it is working. So our application is up on the port number 8085. Now we are good. Just click on it and you will find a terminal opened here with the API, and then whatever message you want to produce, just produce it out. So let's say it is, I'm going to produce the message called hello Pulsar, and then send it. And then here you can see we are getting the response, and you can see that the status is 200, which is okay, and you can see this message is being produced. If you'll go to the controller, you will find that this is what we are returning from here. Message is being produced after calling the send message method. So our message is being produced. Now how we can see if it is being consumed by the consumer or not? So if you'll go to the consumer service, you will find that you are printing out this thing, received messages and then the message. So go to this console and you will find the things here. So you can see that we are printing out this thing which is received messages, and the message that we sent is being received here, which is hello Pulsar. So this is how you can develop your producer and consumer, or this is how you can try to send the message using Apache Pulsar with the help of producer and consumer model. So this is about the video, guys. If you like the video, please hit the like button and please subscribe the channel for more such content. Thanks.